If it's Monday night, oh yes it is. Ridiculously Raw. Hello friends, it is the Ridiculously Over Gentleman Anthony Fleury here with you for another edition of Ridiculously Raw on this Memorial Day night. Hope you all had a blessed one, wherever you are in this in these parts of the United States. Of course, taking the time to honor all of the brave men and women who laid down their lives for our freedom. And let me tell you something. That was one of the best video packages I ever saw that opened Monday Night Raw tonight. It was just wow. I know WWE gets a lot of flack at times, but their production team is top notch. That video, you got to go out of your way to see that. That was one of the best videos I've ever seen. So, well done WWE for that. Well done. So with that being said, we're gonna dive on in to this Memorial Day edition of Ridiculously Raw, and well, what else is there to say except yes, there will be some cutouts, but they hyped two main events in advance. Boy, howdy, both of them delivered. That's all I can say. Both of them delivered. I don't know which one was better, but we'll find out soon enough. So with all that being said, let's get on into it. Of course, we're going to review Monday Night Raw like we always do. This is a big deal here. This is the go home show for Extreme Rules, the Raw exclusive pay-per-view Extreme Rules that will be going down this Monday night in Baltimore. But before we get to Baltimore, we go through the heart of Horseman country, as I call it. Greenville, South Carolina, the Bon Secours Wellness Arena, formerly the Bilo Center, where one of the most iconic moments in professional wrestling took place, September the 14th of 1998, when the Four Horsemen reformed on Monday Nitro. So in that very same arena, Monday Night Raw went down tonight, and let's dive on in. And of course, what's a Monday Night Raw without a 2-for-1 deal? And we got one here tonight. We started it off with a Miz TV segment. Miz and Maurice, their special guests, Sheamus and Cesaro. And then they would be interrupted by the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Dean Ambrose and your Raw Tag Team Champions, the Broken Hardys, Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero. And it led to a 6-man tag team match. Dean Ambrose and the Hardys against The Miz, Sheamus, and Cesaro. Winners of the match in 12 minutes and 20 seconds. Dean Ambrose and the Hardys. It was the Hardys with Matt with a Swanton bomb. And then from there, and then from there was Brother Nero with the Swanton, and they get the win. So, all right, a lot to digest here. So, let's get into it. Well, I'll tell you what. As far as the segment is concerned, it was a solid opening, even if the end result was predictable. I mean, we knew it was going to lead to a 6-man coming out of the commercial break. Let's not kid ourselves. I could even throw in. Hang on, I had a little more thought here. Had a little slowness here. Okay. It was your typical opening segment, rehashing the established feuds and setting up the 6-man match. It was fine. So, as far as the match is concerned, third best fight of the night, easily. This was 3 stars. Good opening match with a really fun and energetic closing stretch. The biggest positive is that the first 30 minutes or so of the show were dedicated to hyping both the Intercontinental and Tag Team Championship matches. Both matches have a chance to be good on Sunday night. I have high hopes for one, the other, not so much. Okay, so this match was a bit clunky at times. Ambrose did the big leaping dive for the hot tag and missed Jeff's hand, so he had to reach up and tag him off the miss. There was also some odd staggering by Miz as he and Matt set up one of the twists of fate. Anyway, the live crowd didn't seem to mind. They were hot for the babyface trio. It was surprising that they didn't do something to put heat on the heels heading into the pay-per-view, but I suppose that could change, come Sunday night. But well, the Hardys get yet another win. I don't think the Hardys have even lost a match since they came back at WrestleMania, if I recall correctly. And well, there's only one thing left. There's only one thing left to do at a time like this, because of the Hardys winning and the whole 9 yards. So you know where I'm going with it. Brother Bullock knows where I'm going with it, even though we didn't have our Raw chat tonight. But it is what it is. So, Brother Bullock, if you would, you know what it means. Sauteed green beans for everyone.
Yes.
Don't those look good, boys? That's all there is to say on that.
If those don't look good, then I don't know what looks good.
Gotta love them sauteed green beans, my friends. So,
oh hell, freaking yes.
Yep. So, the Hardys and Dean Ambrose made green beans out of Sheamus, Cesaro, and The Miz. So, solid 3 stars. Third best fight of the night. Solid opening segment. And Brother Angelo, Brother Good Old MF, I think you have a little number in order.
I'll save it. Hold on. I'll do it in a minute.
Fair enough.
But let me just talk about the match, and then I'll probably do it for you guys because I know everybody wants to hear me do it. But good match, solid 3 stars. I'll agree with that. Opening segment, I mean, okay. I know where they were going with it, but for once, they did something really good. Their storyline progressed, which is something that SmackDown Live has been known for and really does a lot really good of. For Raw, this is your final push for the pay-per-view. This is your final push for Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules is Sunday night. You need to make things really good and over. This is a perfect way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone by covering the Intercontinental title fight with The Miz and Dean Ambrose and the Raw Tag Team titles with the Hardys and Sheamus and Cesaro. They served their purpose on both fronts and did it very well. The match was really good. Yes, there was a little botch there with the hot tag where I think if they would have gotten it on the first, it would have been, the crowd would have exploded and really gotten into it. But even with that, the match was solid. The crowd was into it because of the body of work of all the people involved in this match. And once you get that involved, it's great because tonight there was a little stiff competition that WWE Raw had to deal with because we were dealing with the Stanley Cup final tonight with Pittsburgh and Nashville. So in one sense, it's not a throwaway, but in another sense, you really need to make people want to see this event because the big factor is Sunday night. Extreme Rules is going to be head-to-head with the NBA Finals. Golden State and Cleveland, Game 2. And as a matter of fact, WWE is really in a pickle because not only do they got to worry about Game 2, but if for some reason the Game 7 of the Finals, if it goes all the way to 7 between Golden State and Cleveland, then SmackDown's pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, that 7th game lands smack dab right in the middle of that as well. So you want to talk about a Father's Day night where you got Money in the Bank and Game 7 of the Finals? This happened a year ago, and WWE paid the price for it. Dearly paid the price for it. WWE is praying to the basketball gods that series does not go 7 for the sake of SmackDown. For Monday Night Raw, you need people to be engaged. And by doing it like this, you did a great job. And oh, by the way, because the Hardys won, and it was a Hardy victory, Miz, Cesaro, and Sheamus, well, they just fade away and classify themselves as obsolete.
Obsolete. Yes.
And they will
Brother
be
Bullock.
tonight too.
Brother Bullock, would you like to chime in about these obsolete mules that should be deleted?
Yeah.
Oh yes, brother Fletcher. I would like to talk about these obsolete mules that have just been deleted. Yeah. I mean, as far as the match goes, I mean, a solid 3 stars. I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, it certainly was a very good way to start off this Memorial Day edition of Monday Night Raw, and the segment. I mean, it was good for what it was. I mean, and like you said, I mean, it was storyline progressions. I mean, normally we talk about that with SmackDown Live, but obviously Monday Night Raw took a little page out of that, and it was good to finally see them do something like that. So yeah, so the segment was good. The match was 3 stars, so good way to start off this Memorial Day edition of Monday Night Raw. And Miz and Cesaro and Sheamus, you 3 obsolete mules have been deleted.
Yeah.
Didi Woodson, I give it to you.
Darn straight they've been deleted. Very much so deleted.
And if I know Didi Woodson, she probably would say Maurice has been deleted too.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We're just
Okay.
waiting.
I couldn't tell if y'all could hear me or not. It's not showing that my mic is working, so on my end. So I've got 2 headsets plugged in. One of them's got to have a mic working. So, yeah, Maurice has definitely been deleted, and so is The Miz and Cesaro and Sheamus. They've all been deleted, and thank goodness, too. They're past go home for me. For me, I really enjoyed this segment. I thought it was actually better than the one later on this evening. So for me, this would be the segment of the night. I know you guys probably like the other one better, but the other one, I'll get into that later. As for the match, I'm giving it 3 stars. I thought it was a real good match. Very good tag team work with Hardys and Ambrose, and both teams seem to work really well together. But yeah, basically, I definitely think Raw took a page out of SmackDown and pretty much did a storyline progression show for the go home show, which is exactly what you need. I mean, no matter if the segments are good or not, or the matches are good or not, that's what you need. You need a storyline progression to get you to that next level and to get the fans that much engaged to actually want to watch the pay-per-view. And so I definitely say they hit the ball out of the park tonight, especially starting off with this, where like you guys said, basically covered both titles matches in one match alone in one segment. So, you know, hats off to them. That's about all I have to say about it. Thank goodness they're all deleted. We'll celebrate with green beans.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
Sauteed green beans, Didi Woodson. Yes. That's how you do it. So with all that being said, let's move on. And unfortunately, one of the not so delightful things we have to get into, of course, are these little things we call cutouts. And yes, we have a cutout here. The Drifter, Elias Sampson, squash match win over Zach Evans, beat him in 2 minutes and 40 seconds with that crossroads like maneuver of his, which is a direct carbon copy of Cody Rhodes' Crossroads move. I don't care what anybody says on that. Of course, that's no rating to a dud. Sampson's pre-match song didn't get the heat that it has in NXT or even that it received last week. The squash match was a good idea, and that casual viewers who only watch the main roster are just now being introduced to his moveset and finisher. So that's really all that was as far as the Drifter is concerned. So he destroyed a young jobber with great aggression. He gained some momentum. And you could say it served its purpose, I guess. So with that being said, let's move on. And, well, we're going to get into this. It was the first of our two big main events on this show tonight. Triple threat match. Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Bray Wyatt. Winner of the match in 16 minutes and 50 seconds. The Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe, picks up the win. It was basically one of those ultimate opportunist moments. Finn Balor hits the coup de grace on Bray Wyatt, and then Samoa Joe came back in, threw Balor out of the ring, picked up the scraps for the 1-2-3. So Samoa Joe wins the triple threat match. MF, lucky you get to lead off on one of our big main events of the night, and both of them delivered. Question was, which one delivered more?
Damn. I mean, this was unfreaking believable. This was an awesome fight. I mean, I could go as far to say maybe 3.5 to 4 stars. That's how good this match was. This was a great battle. This was a great fight. This was a great, just to say whatever, and it was really good. I love it. I love the match. I thought it was a great body of work overall. So no, congratulations for everybody involved. This was definitely one of the top fights of the night, probably the fight of the night. Like you said, there's a big debate. It was 1A to 1B on this one, but this was amazing. 3.5 to 4 stars match, to say the very least. Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
I agree. This was definitely 3.5 to 4 stars is my rating on the match, and it was definitely one of the fights of the night. I mean, because to me, there was another match that I thought was, that was potentially even better. I mean, it's tough to pick one over the other. So, but yeah, I mean, this was definitely enjoyable. I loved it. So there's really nothing more to say. I mean, it's definitely one of the top fights of the night. So, yeah. So Didi Whitson, I give it to you.
I'm hitting it with a solid 4 stars. To me, this one was slightly better to me than the other one. So, not much more I'm going to say about it. So, Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.25 to 3.5. If I'm going to be real honest, I felt it was a little boring in the beginning, a little slow in the beginning. But once they got going, then okay, then we're good. So 3.25 to 3.5 is my rating for it. I mean, it's an agree to disagree here. It is one of the top 2 fights of the night for absolute sure. An entertaining match that was laid out nicely in terms of the heels working against and with each other, and Balor showing good heart and fighting both men regardless of the circumstances. Joe looked a little dopey for being manipulated by Wyatt again during the match, so it was good to see him pick up the win here. However, WWE booking history suggests that the rest of this match means Joe will not be winning on Sunday night. Even though I would pay to see a Samoa Joe Brock Lesnar match, and if that match ever did happen, I would go on the record and say it would be the biggest and greatest be a man fight you would ever see. Because if you like smash mouth physical wrestling, those two would give it to you hands down. Good win for Joe, unexpected, as it felt as if the focus was really on Balor and Wyatt. They largely worked well together until they got close to the end, where there were some positioning issues. It was also way too slavish to the three-way formula early on, with 2 in and 1 taking a nap on the floor. They did a great job with Balor here. He was protected and also looked great, refusing to give up against the two bigger opponents. So well done all around. So 3.25 to 3.5 stars is the correct rating, in my opinion, for this bout. So with that being said, let's move on. We have another cutout. Cruiserweight match. Rich Swann against Noam Dar. Rich Swann wins the match with the Phoenix Splash in 2 minutes and 55 seconds. No rating to a dud, but it was announced that Sunday night at Extreme Rules, Rich Swann is going to team up with Sasha Banks to take on Noam Dar and Alicia Fox in a mixed tag match. I smell worst fight of the night right there. No question about it. But we'll get into it because on pay-per-views, we get into everything, regardless if it's a cutout or not. So, it was a solid outing to add some heat. What's that?
And actually, I got one added bonus thing that I want to add. This was just announced on WWE.com. Here's something to brighten up your day. For 205 Live, folks, the boss is actually going to be in the house tomorrow night.
I was going to mention that when I did my 205 Live review, MF, but no problem. That definitely does need to be addressed, and I'll address it again when we get to my 205 Live review. Absolutely. So, the boss is going to be in the house. I wonder what capacity she'll be used. It'll be very interesting to see. So, okay. I lost my train of thought on that. Okay, solid outing to add some heat to Sunday's tag match, although I wish that they would book a match that would actually work to Swann's skill set instead of grounding him for 80% of the bout. The involvement of Sasha added something to the match in terms of keeping the crowd engaged more than they tend to be during most cruiserweight matches. So we're not going to get into that. That's a no rating to a dud. And the hits just keep on coming. Yeah, right. Kalisto against Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil wins the match in 50 seconds. Roll up with a pulling of. Basically, he was pulling the tights and getting the win. That's what Titus O'Neil did. Let's see. 50 seconds. Titus celebrating like he accomplished something big as Cruz. Tights was amusing. Yeah, said no one. And Kalisto showed good fire in his short burst, but O'Neil is really bad and needs not to wrestle. He's awkward, he lacks mobility, and needs to just be a mouthpiece because he's great at that. Also, can we please get Kalisto on 205 Live to add some variety to that show? It may have been short, but it was god-awful. This was the worst fight of the night. So, and I love and respect my fellow panelists so much, I'm not even going to put them through the pain, torture, and agony. I'm not even going to have them dignify this dumpster fire of a match. So, no rating to a dud. Get the you-know-what out of here with it. So now we're going to get into this, though. Alexa Bliss, Bayley, This Is Your Life. That was the segment. But you know what? I'm going to be honest here. This was train wreck city, if I'm going to be real honest. And what I do, I'm going to leave it up to my panel. If the panel wants to talk about it, they can. But if they don't want to talk about it, I wouldn't blame you one bit.
No comment.
I'm just going to say probably the worst segment of the year for Monday Night Raw. That was an absolute dumpster fire, if it ever was one. And I'll tell you one thing. They absolutely did a disservice to Alexa Bliss. No, they did a major disservice to her. I mean,
and she deserves way better than this.
Not only that, but Bayley. I mean, are you kidding me? This was in August of last year. She was one of the hottest call-ups for WWE, and now she's relegated to this humiliation. I mean, it is absolutely. Now, I know you're trying to put over the fight, but you can do it a number of different ways.
Not this one.
And no, I mean, okay, the only one that was actually the greatest "This Is Your Life" thing that they ever did was Mick Foley and The Rock.
Yep.
Because that one was entertaining. The
Yeah.
Rock was funny. So was Foley. And it was just, it was, everything came out so good and it worked. Where a lot of the times WWE likes to go to the well one too many times on a gimmick or anything else. And I'll even say this. Facebook went ablaze after this happened. One person said, whoever thought of this idea or whoever wrote this should be shown the door. That's how angry this was. And everybody was saying that this was a complete and utter disservice to Alexa Bliss. Like, if you want to give her heat, okay, fine. That's fine if you're going to give her genuine heat. But you made her look horrible in this segment. Not even the casual Alexa Bliss fan is backing her for this tonight. That's how bad this is. Anthony, the girl you want, your future ex-wife, looked horrible tonight in so many ways. And she is so charming as a heel, and she's witty as a heel. There was nothing of that tonight. Nothing of that. Even the beauty or the grace or the wit of her couldn't save this. I got nothing more to say, and don't even get Dee Woodson in here because if she jumps in here, we're all no. Do not let her in this building right now, because if she jumps in, it's over, man. Hide the women and children, and I'm jumping under the table. I'm done.
I may even, and I may even go as far as to maybe leave the show for a little bit, because I don't think I want to be here when she goes off on it.
Yeah, I think you should just move on now, Florio.
Yeah, please just move on, Florio, because if you continue to talk about this, Dee Woodson's gonna want to say something, and I just may want to leave this show for a little bit until she's done.
Well, I have to give my brief thought on it, of course. So,
well, just do it quickly, man.
I'll try my best. MF made a wonderful point. The Rock and Mick Foley, they're more than safe when it comes to having the best "This Is Your Life" bit on Raw. The bits with the phony teacher and childhood friends were neither comical nor heat generating. Bayley received a nice reaction when she came out, but that may have been more about her ending the misery than anything else. I mean, I agree 100% with MF. It was the worst segment on Raw this year. And of all people, Alexa Bliss was involved. Oh, my goodness. This was so bad. Bliss tried really hard to keep control of things, but you can only do so much with really bad material. The crowd hated it, giving her delete chants. I don't blame them. Whoever gave this the green light is a stupid idiot and a mutton head. This was absolutely horrible in every way.
And Florio, you want to know what happens? Who comes up with shitty segments like this? Whoever that stupid idiot muttonhead was.
What happens? What happens?
To this stupid idiot muttonhead who came up with this.
Click.
Make a list.
Make a list. Bada boom. Realest guys in the room. How you doing? Simple as that.
Yeah, just move on quickly, Florio.
Yep. And a closing thought, this actually made me even less interested in the match. And far and away, worst segment of the year. I'm not going to say it may have been one of the worst. No, this was the worst. Baloney. So, unbelievable. So, all right. So, okay. So let's just move on. Now we're going to get into something relevant here. About time. Cruiserweight tag team match. Yes, we've seen it before, but it's always fun when they get together. It was Austin Aries, Jack Gallagher against Neville and TJP. Austin Aries and Jack Gallagher win the match in 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Austin Aries with the last chancery on Neville to tap out. So, Michael Bullock, we started off with you here. Your thoughts on this Cruiserweight tag team match? We've seen it before, but it's always fun when they get together.
Yes, we've seen this before, but the thing is, I mean, they always seem to put on a good match, and obviously this was another good one. I'm gonna give this about stars as somewhere between 2.5 to 3, even though I'm leaning more towards 2.5. If I'm gonna be quite honest here, but in the time frame, it was really good for what it was, and yes, Austin Aries putting the last chancery on Neville here. I mean, could this be an omen of could this be an omen of things to come for Neville this Sunday night at Extreme Rules? But let's not forget the whole booking 101 situation, because remember, we just saw him put that last chancery on Neville, so it makes it look like that Neville's probably going to walk out still the Cruiserweight champion. I mean, but let's not forget, I mean, before that, sometimes the booking 101 doesn't work, but we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. So to me, this was a good match for what it was. So, D.D. Woodson, I give it to you.
D.D. Woodson doesn't do Cruiserweight matches, Bullock.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I totally forgot about that. So, Florio, what's yours?
Not a problem. I mean, I know it's been a while, but anyways, 2 to 2.5 stars is my rating for it. It was a good finish with Cole emphasizing that it proved that Neville would tap to Aries' finisher. Graves tried to defend Neville by saying that he may have been simply trying to save himself for Sunday, but Cole blew that off immediately. Fine match. I mean, yeah, I know some would say it was a flat match that felt way longer than it was, and the crowd wasn't really into it. The finish shows that Aries can tap Neville and allows him some revenge after weeks of TJP and Neville largely owning him. But now I'm a little worried that since they gave Aries the momentum, that they may actually put Neville over now, even though I really want to see Austin Aries win the Cruiserweight Championship, and really get things going in the Cruiserweight divisions. So that's all I can say on that. So that was a 2 to 2.5 star match for that effort. 4th best fight of the night, no doubt about that. So with that, MF, my guy, Austin Aries, Bullock's guy, Jack Gallagher, they got one over on your boys, Neville and TJP. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. There's really nothing bad to say. I mean, sometimes that tends to happen. Every time a squirrel will find a nut once in a rare while. So tonight, his boys ended up getting the win. All right, fine. But let's see what happens. Sunday night. Is that going to be the same thing? Will that be the same outcome, or is it going to be something a little more different? You don't know. So, I mean, yes, they gave him a nice victory, gives him the look for what could be a very interesting dilemma, and at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. So, nice win, nothing more to say. All right, Floyo, let's move on.
Fair enough. As we continue on this Memorial Day edition of Ridiculously Raw, well, we're actually on to the other half of our double main event already. Wow, we've been moving by so quickly. That's what happens when you have a lot of cutouts here. It's another match we've seen before, but boy, howdy, they always deliver when they get together, and tonight, no exception. The big dog, Roman Reigns. The Kingslayer, the Architect, Seth Rollins. One-on-one. Winner of the match in 18 minutes and 15 seconds, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns picks up the win with the spear. And I believe it's D.D. Woodson who actually gets to lead off on the main event. So D.D. Woodson, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Man, oh man, did they deliver tonight.
Yeah, they delivered. But like I said, the match earlier in the night would be my fight of the night. So This one I gave 3.5 stars because it was still really, really, really close to call on either one of them because they both delivered big time. And, what better than to have a match where these two guys know each other inside and out, know every move each other makes. I mean, it makes the match last longer and, makes it a little more entertaining because you never know, how they're going to counteract the other one or what move they're going to pull out next. But Reigns actually pulled it off and got the win tonight. And both him and Samoa Joe are going into this with the momentum of for the pay-per-view of having a win behind each one of them. But in my opinion, I don't think either one of them are going to actually pull it off in the end. Although, I'm with you all. I'd love to see Samoa Joe versus Lesnar. I mean, there would be your true heavyweight fight, along with either even if Bray got in there, that would still be a true heavyweight fight. But we'll just have to kind of wait and see what comes up on this and who actually pulls off with a win tomorrow or Sunday night. So not much more I have to say about it. So it's yours, Florio.
With all due respect, Didi Whitson, I got to slightly disagree with you. This was my fight of the night, actually. 3 3/4 stars is my rating for this. Teetering on 4. I was surprised that they gave away the clean finish, as I honestly expected Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and Bray Wyatt to all get involved. Instead, they just worked a very good main event to close out the show. Very good main event. I wondered whether this would be more of an angle than a match. As the match went on, I was content with the amount of in-ring action they gave viewers, yet still assumed we'd be seeing some sort of interference to avoid a clean finish. Thus, the clean finish was a surprise, a nice surprise, a pleasant surprise, and it did not do major damage to Rollins in that it's not like he had major momentum going into the bout anyway. So this one I felt was just a smidgen better than the other match, even though I felt it was just as good. Like I said, it was very close, but I felt this one was just a smidgen better because of I felt there was a little more Shakespearean drama because these two have a history of giving us that. I mean, you look back at that title match from last year's Money in the Bank, which was a damn near 5-star classic. I mean, but Roman was due to get the win on his former partner Rollins, and that's exactly what happened. And I actually had Roman winning this match going into it, and I'm not surprised that happens. So, yeah, pleasant surprise all around. I mean, you easily could have expected the other guys to get involved. They didn't. They gave us a clean match and a clean finish and a very entertaining bout. So 3 3/4 to 4 stars. This was my fight of the night. So, and that's how about it.
This is close. I mean, like I said, this is another 3.5 to 4 star fight. There's no doubt about that. Like I said, this is 1A versus 1B. It is neck and neck. I don't know where to put it, but I'm actually with Didi Whitson on this. I'm actually going to give the triple threat the fight of the night honor, and I'm actually going to give this one the second best fight of the evening. This is close. I mean, it is almost like an apple to oranges debate, but for me, this was a tremendous main event. This was a great way to close it. Like I said, the only thing was tonight you only had 3 really good things on Monday Night Raw. 3 good things out of a 3-hour show normally is not good at all. But when you have a decent opening, something in the middle that really engaged you, and a great end, you might get yourself at least a passable grade, but I don't even think that might even save you. But you'll get my overall review soon. But yeah, 3.5 to 4 stars. Second best fight of the night by a hair. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say another 3.5 to 4 stars as well, and by I have to say by a smidge, I think this was this was the well, to me, this was the second best fight of the night, and that triple threat match to me was the fight of the night. I totally agree with everything you guys have run down here. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's get to our overall thoughts on this Memorial Day edition of Monday Night Raw.
And I'm going to let Dee Dee Woodson go first because I know she's probably in a hurry to head out. So, Dee Dee Woodson, I'm going to let you run with it first.
Well, this was definitely a newsworthy show. Like we said earlier, you know, they did take a couple pages from SmackDown and really went with the storyline progression for almost every match on here. I think the only one that really wasn't storyline progressing was the Drifter. But still, I mean, almost every single match here led to something that we're going to see at the pay-per-view. And, you know, like I said, whether you liked it or not, you know, that was the main thing that they were trying to do, was to reel you in with the storylines and to just kind of draw you in. Of course, like the guy said, you know, don't want to get me started on the Bliss segment because that would be a major rant. So I'm going to nix myself right now before I go off on that. But that definitely deserves to be in the dumpster. I mean, that was pretty bad. But also, you know, we've also had some very interesting backstage segments. You know, we don't usually cover those, but we had some good ones there. I mean, you have the storyline starting to build with Goldust and Truth in a backstage segment. You've got the mystery of who is injuring Enzo, and tonight it seemed like all the fingers are pointing towards Cass just because of the way he's reacting to it and everything. But you know, like I said, just some interesting backstage stuff to go along with the in-ring stuff. I think I'm not sure if any of you are going to agree with me or not. I'm going to give this an 8. Just because of all the storylines. I mean, not so much for the ratings on the matches, just the fact that it was a lot of storyline building here and a lot of progression to get you in gear for the pay-per-view. Like I said, whether the segment or the match was yay or nay, it did get everybody thinking about, you know, the matches that we're going to be seeing Sunday. So not much more I had to say about it, so see y'all tomorrow night.
And Dee Dee, before you go, I just want to make sure you know that Thursday night at 10 o'clock, we're going to have our Extreme Rules preview show.
I saw the memo.
Okay. All right,
So,
very good.
I'll definitely see you all Thursday night as well.
All right, very good. So we'll see you tomorrow for Cerebral Smack Talk.
Yes.
Have a blessed night, and we'll see you then.
All right.
All right. So I'll take it from here. With all due respect to Dee Dee Woodson, I think she overscored this show a little bit, even though I very much appreciate the rating, even, you know, because I am a Raw guy after all. But I think 8 out of 10 was a little much. I can certainly understand, you know, from a storyline progression angle, I can understand that. But honestly, it's because of the cutouts. If we didn't have all those cutouts, I would have agreed with the 8 out of 10, hands down. But I have to count the cutouts, and because of that, I have to give it a 6 out of 10 for me. While the show featured some strong wrestling, much of the show just felt flat and uninspired, i.e. the cutouts. It started off well enough, but then sort of faded and then almost died with that dumpster fire Alexa Bailey segment. Not a bad show, but I don't think it was the hot show needed prior to a pay-per-view. Overall, Raw delivered some good in-ring action via the double main event and the 6-man tag and even that cruiserweight tag match. But overall, they failed to make Extreme Rules feel like a must-see show. But Raw was better than passable in terms of being an entertaining 3-hour show. It was a mixed bag when it came to final hype for the pay-per-view. And, well, what would I recommend from this show? Simply put, both main events, hands down. I'll give you the 6-man tag and the Miz TV segment that preceded it. And I'll give you the Cruiserweight tag team match. But other than that, skip everything else. That's all I can say on that. Skip everything else. And a great point by Didi Woodson about, what happened to Enzo Amore. I'm starting to get a rumbling on that myself. Who knows? Maybe they're setting up Cass for a heel turn. And I think that would do wonders for him. Because like I said, I think, as I've said all along, I think Big Cass would be better off in a singles capacity, because if you push him as a singles guy, he could be a future Intercontinental or maybe a future Universal champion down the road, because he's got the look, he's got the ability. And if you turn him heel now, I think that would do absolute wonders for his character. Simple as that. Or maybe they will go with the Revival, and we could see Enzo and Cass against the Revival. That would be a great tag team feud. Secondary tag team feud to go with the Hardys and Cesaro Sheamus. So say on that. So for me, 6 out of 10 with the cutouts, 8 out of 10 without the cutouts. So that's all I can say on that. So MF, let's get your overall thoughts on this go home to Extreme Rules edition of Raw tonight.
I was wavering. At first, I was gonna go with a 4 out of 10 at first, but after what you said and what Didi Woodson has said, I'm actually gonna boost it up, and I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10. Nothing more than that. This was solid enough. Michael Bullock, I'll just give it to you.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to go lower than that. I'm gonna say 5 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, you had some good matches, you had some storyline progression, but the cutouts and don't get me started with that whole Alexa Bliss Bailey segment, because I will go off big time if somebody even mentions that to me again. So because of that trashy ass segment, that's the reason why I'm taking even more points off of that. So 5 out of 10 for me. To me, I mean, it's an average. To me, it's an average mediocre edition of Monday Night Raw as far as I'm concerned. So nothing else to say except, Florio, let's move on to your Tony's take.
Yes, sir. Tony's take time. It's here and it's now. And you know how we do it. We will be reviewing the we'll be reviewing Impact Wrestling. We'll also be reviewing 205 Live, and it's gonna be a double positive review for both of the shows this time around. And yeah, very, very high. I was very high on both shows coming out of this past week. So I'm just getting one last piece of business. Okay. Let's start it off with 205 Live. And like I said, I have a very positive review on this. We started it off with Rich Swann squaring off against Arya Daivari. Rich Swann won the match in 6 minutes and 25 seconds. Second best fight of the show, 2.25 stars. Perfectly solid but bland match. Nothing like 5 minutes of arm work that is only filler and keeps one of the roster's most exciting performers grounded and away from what makes him fun. I mean, at least Dar could have attacked the arm post-match, which would have made him come off like a completely opportunistic you-know-what. So 2.25 stars there. Then they had a sit-down interview with Adrian Neville and Austin Aries with Corey Graves. This was a really strong segment to hype up the title match. They stayed on point and didn't resort to yelling and talking over each other. And Neville didn't scream as much. And you know how much Michael Bullock hates Neville when he screams. So there wasn't really much screaming on that, Bullock. So give that a watch if you can. And then we had the return of Cedric Alexander. Great to see him back. He squashed some ham and egger by the name of Johnny Boone in 1 minute and 25 seconds. No rating, no a dud. It was exactly what it needed to be. Cedric playing the hits and picking up a clean and quick win in his return. And then the main event, Akira Tozawa v. Brian Kendrick in a street fight. Akira Tozawa wins the match, 14 and a half minutes. Fight of the night, 4 stars, great main event. I actually love that they largely stayed away from the Toyzad gimmicks and instead tried to keep this just a battle of 2 men that hate each other, which made for some great exchanges, and the finish mean all that much more. A diving senton through a table. Well done. 4 stars. Overall thoughts, 7.5 out of 10. A very good and strong episode of 205 Live featuring a really good interview between Neville and Aries, the return of Cedric Alexander, and a great main event that's more than worth your time. So, Bullock, MF, if you haven't already, go out of your way and watch that street fight. That thing was epic, especially the finish. So, 7.5 out of 10. Well done, 205 Live. And as MF alluded to earlier, the boss, Sasha Banks, she will be in the house tomorrow night on 205 Live. So that should be very interesting to see what capacity they'll use her for. They'll probably use her to advance the angle with her and Swan and Fox and Dar. We're probably going to get some more of that nonsense. I personally would rather have her sit in on commentary myself, but I don't think that's what they're going to use her for. So, all right. Now we're going to move on to Impact Wrestling. Well, this one will not be as positive as 205 Live, but let's start it off. We had Bruce Pritchard. He came into the ring. He has a new bodyguard, Tyrus, and he talked about what EC3 did to him and that his actions would be under review. And he brought out Bobby Lashley, and then EC3 came out, Magnus came out, and I think James Storm came out too. Yes. And well, after starting the last few weeks with matches, they went back to the elongated Wimbag promo segment to further set up the match that was already set. It was fine, but didn't add much to the bout for me. Then we had a tag team match, Braxton Sutter and Mahabali Shera against KM and Kongo Kong. KM and Kongo Kong win the match in 11 minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah, this was not good. 1.5 stars. Very bland, slow, uninspired, while completely lacking any drama and going far too long. It was a match. That's all there is to it. It was a match. And it was the worst match of the night for me, hands down. Then we had the semifinal match of the Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Tournament. Veterans of War against Bokara and Ba. Veterans of War win the match in 5 minutes and 11 seconds. Third best fight here, 2.5 stars. Solid stuff. Bakara and Bar are a fun little undercard tag team. The Veterans of War will face LAX next week for the vacant Global Force Wrestling World Tag Team Championship. I keep waiting for the Veterans of War to do something to interest me, but they feel like such a generic big guy tag team that doesn't particularly do anything all that well. It's just fine. And then Josh Matthews. Yeah, Josh Matthews comes out and calls out Jeremy Borash and Joseph Park and announces that he's going to announce his mystery tag team partner for the Slammiversary match. And who was it? Holla, if you hear me. Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. Well, that was an amazingly flat segment for a soul-suckingly bad angle, setting up a match I have absolutely no desire to see whatsoever. It was almost depressing how little a reaction Steiner received. It's either poor microphone work or no one cares and are as fed up with the angle as I am. Steiner wasn't exactly moving well in the limited action he saw. This is going to be a huge disaster on pay-per-view. He looked like a child that was wearing his dad's jacket. It was swallowing him up. He didn't even rant about Park being fat for a laugh. The only good thing about the segment was Park selling the fear of seeing Steiner. But that segment, oof. Avoid. Mixed tag team match, Eddie Edwards and his wife Alicia Edwards against Davey Richards and his wife Angelina Love. Eddie Edwards and Alicia pick up the win, 11 minutes and 38 seconds. Second best fight of the night, believe it or not. 2 3/4 stars, pretty good match overall. They continued the angle well. but the post match was the best part. Also, Alicia needs not to punch things. It looks very bad when she does, but other than that, solid match, and that's a credit to the guys. No disrespect to the women, they tried, but Eddie and Davey pretty much carried that bout. So, and then we had the main event. It was a number one contenders, no disqualification match. James Storm, Magnus, EC3. EC3 wins the match in 20 minutes and 10 seconds. Storm hit the last call on Magnus, but EC3, I mean, it was basically opportunistic segment here, just like what Samoa Joe did earlier tonight. EC3 did the same thing. Storm out, covered Magnus for the win. So EC3 picks up the win. Fight of the night, 3 3/4 stars. Post start, they came back with an extremely strong second half and turned this into a great match with some very well done near falls at the end. They kept teasing that Alberto El Patron may still be involved, and we should get the fallout from that on the next show. Oh, and I got some news on that in just a moment. Overall, it's between 6 1/4. I'm leaning more towards 6 1/4 out of 10 on this one. Pretty standard show. The Matthews Borash segment was no buys and just bad television, and it was honestly embarrassing seeing Steiner return to no reaction and struggle to walk around and put on his submission. The main event was really very good and enjoyable, and they set up the following for next week, which is always appreciated. Veterans of War, LAX for the vacated Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Championship, and Low Key will defend the X Division Championship against Andrew Everett. One thing that has been nice the last few weeks is that they have streamlined the show, going with less segments to allow things to have time and settle in. SmackDown Live found a lot of success with this early in the year, but unfortunately got away from it. What do you need to see? Well, main event first and foremost. I'll give you the mixed tag match, and I'll even give you the Veterans of War against Bokara and Ba. Other than that, avoid the rest, especially the Matthews segment. Anything involving him, avoid. Unless I tell you otherwise. So 6 1/4 out of 10 for me. Next up on Impact Wrestling for this week, Ethan Carter III is going to come out with a promo, and a whole lot of stuff's going to come out of that, including a big announcement. A big main event's going to come out of that, and I'll share that in just a minute. Impact Grand Championship on the line. Moose will defend against Eli Drake. LAX and the Veterans of War for the vacated Global Force Tag Team titles. Low Key, Andrew Everett, X Division Championship on the line there. And then a very interesting main event, which comes out of that opening segment. Ethan Carter III is going to go up against Alberto El Patron in a 6 sides of steel match with a whole lot at stake. Not only is Alberto El Patron's Global Force Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship on the line, but Ethan Carter III's title shot against Bobby Lashley at Slammiversary is on the line. Shades of RVD and Shelton Benjamin, Backlash 2006, when the Intercontinental title and Money in the Bank were on the line. Very similar here. So it's going to be Alberto El Patron, Ethan Carter III, steel cage, 6 sides of steel match. Winner of this match wins both the Global Force Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship and will also be the number 1 contender for Bobby Lashley at Slammiversary. So a whole lot at stake there. So tune in Thursday night at 8 o'clock on Pop Television. But I'm sure a lot of us will be DVRing it because that's also going to be game 1 of the NBA Finals. And, of course, our Extreme Rules preview show. So there you go. So that's it for this. So Ridiculously Raw in the books for another week. So we thank you all so very much for tuning in. Shout out time, Bullock, MF, whoever wants to start it, and then I'll wrap it up.
All right. Of course, we want to thank you all so very much for tuning in for this Memorial Day edition of Ridiculously Raw. Of course, shout outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's this or the Cerebral Smack Talk or of course Strictly Sports. Of course, we really appreciate it, and we hope you all had a great Memorial Day weekend and celebrated it responsibly. So, and of course, shout outs to all of course, to our First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson, for joining us again here tonight. And of course, the rest of the Woodson family. And of course, to all of our other super fans out there, you guys know who you are. Of course, shout outs to our friends from our high school days. You guys know who you are, including Derek Ferreira. So, yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for me. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, this is the Phenom Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. And of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now. Enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy your Tuesday, everyone. So, Fletcher, I give it to you.
Yes, indeed. First off, I want to say thank you to all the great fans out there. You guys are the best fans in the world. You guys already know that. To the super fans out there, you guys already know who you guys are. To my friends in the junior high school days, 2184 crew, love you guys to death. Tuesday night, it's going to be, of course, Cerebral Smack Talk. We got SmackDown Live this time around. We do have some other things with, of course, the big announcement is Wednesday is the return of Lucha Underground, which means, of course, I'm going to get myself back into the fold and start working on what I need to work on for Lucha Underground. So I'm so excited about that. And is there going to be a Mikey's Mindset? Well, I don't know. Honestly, I got to see what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. You know, any Ring of Honor news, anything from RWA. There was one fight that was announced for Perseverance. Well, was announced for the next RWA show, and it's a championship fight. So I'm gonna drop that nugget because RWA released it on YouTube. So according to any type of news that gets dropped, I am allowed to announce it live on the show for you guys. If there's any other news that RWA will hook me up with, normally it's almost like a dentist trying to pull teeth out of people. It's kind of hard to get it out of them. They're very tight knit, tight lipped. They don't really like to, let's say, tip the hand too much. So if they tip it, I'll give it to you. If they don't, then I'm gonna have to, find another way to get through. But most definitely, please note the time. It's gonna be a 10 o'clock start time this time around, guys, not 10:30. So tomorrow night, 10 p.m. immediately after SmackDown Live goes off the air, Cerebral Smack Talk hits right on BravesFan95 on YouTube.com. So until then, you know the routine is Huzz and Ham Pounds. I'm out. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now. Anthony Florio, take it home.
Okay. Of course, special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make our shows as over as they are. We appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world. Of course, special shout out to Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the entire Woodson family, Matt Ward, Jason Nixonbaugh, Daniel Luttrell from the UK, our other first ladies, Kaiser Butler, Megan Silva, and Lexi Calloway, and of course, our other crew members, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Alvarez, and Rob Parsons, and of course, the man himself, Derek Ferreira, who I hope had a blessed birthday weekend this past weekend. And I'll save the rest of my shout outs for Friday night. Future content, of course, tomorrow night, 10 p.m., like MF just mentioned, we'll have the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF's channel, BravesFan95. We'll review SmackDown Live, and we'll see if a Mikey's Mindset comes out of it. We'll find out soon enough. And then remember, Thursday night, same time, 10 p.m., we will have our Extreme Rules preview show. We'll all be here for that. And then while we will have Strictly Sports Friday night at 10:30 right back here on the Tone 25, unfortunately, there is no docket yet. Derek Ferreira has not released the docket for Strictly Sports yet. He will, however, release it tomorrow because he's going to do his NBA Finals preview video tomorrow, and he's going to, in turn, release the docket for Strictly Sports tomorrow. So that means MF is actually going to get to announce what's going to be on the docket tomorrow night. So be ready for that, MF. since we don't have a docket for tonight. So, and then of course, and then after that, we'll be with you on Sunday night following Extreme Rules for our Extreme Rules recap show. So, and then of course next Monday night, Ridiculously Raw, where we start out all the fallout from Extreme Rules. So, all right, that'll do it. So, until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF channel for Ace Man 95, it's the ridiculously over gentleman Anthony Florio here. For Girl MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Twisted Angel Dee Dee Woodson, and the Hardcore Pipe Bomb Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. Good night, everybody.